one was a DNC staffer named Seth Rich. After Seth was mysteriously gunned down in the street, people started looking seriously into the possibility that Seth was the inside guy who had leaked these DNC emails to WikiLeaks.
Well, we all know.
George Webb. George has been publishing his findings on his YouTube channel, so he got pretty deep into the investigation. So much so that now he's worried that Hillary's goon squad is trying to knock him off too.
It's much deeper than that.
Which almost always predict who will win an election in Democratic districts. So the van is, if you recall, the voter database that the DNC had, that there's so much controversy that occurred between the Bernie camp and the Hillary camp. And Seth Rich's involvement in the van and getting out the vote and those key bellwether districts. Why are the bellwether districts so important?
I don't care.
Well, our person that gave us the leak a few days ago on that thumb drive, I think you remember Trish, if you watch crowdsourcethetruth.org, you remember Trish coming down from Boston? You remember the surreptitious meeting?
Much deeper than that.
If you don't believe me, I also published my Twitter, which
Very
is...
careful, my friend. Much deeper than that.
The internet trying to substitute the file was Bellwether Van. So it looks like Bellwether Van may be the key to the whole story. That was the key to the...
Be very careful. Be very careful now.
Also, it has, outside of the DNC leaks, the fact that he was going to pursue that lawsuit, they were going to go to discovery, they had Dan B as one DNC leaker, they had Session, a friend in the Obama administration, but he was trying to get to the White House. That's the story that's being lost here.
It's much bigger than that.
One of the reasons that he died 4 days before.
Crowdsource investigation, it didn't actually start with Seth Rich. But the interesting thing about the crowdsource is that it always sort of leads you to where the most important information is.
Crime analyst talking about everything from San Bernardino to the Pulse nightclub shooting, these types of crimes, right? And so when I went on Fox to talk about
Much deeper than that.
and I did what we call a walk and talk. I walked the scene on Flagler Street, and I looked at the crime scene from the perspective
Much deeper than that. Do you have the file?
anything about the investigation itself. We understand because I have what I call a shut up.
The other name.
That's what it is. Shut up. Don't say anything.
I don't want to talk about that.
We have the name.
This is what I like to say. I had no clue at the time,
I need a name.
believe it or not, about the relationship that we had.
I need a name.
I always like to say you have 3 doors to go on this ride. I used to be rugby, matter of fact, rugby. Is that relationships on that? Lovers triangle, boyfriend underside, girl. They're all kinds of stuff.
you don't want to know, really. I don't think. No one does.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Porthole to Justice, the window to the truth. I am your host, Amelia Duran, and that was Zeph Daniel original music, available on iTunes. It is Tuesday, January 7th, 2020 on planet Earth. And I am back because, one of the original... one of the original guys in the network is here with me today. The founder of State of Corruption, Micheal Gill. Welcome.
Thank you, Amelia.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I want to, I have a bunch of new listeners that are tuning into the show. And you were one of the original reporters in Porthole to Justice when I started, I think it's 8 years now. I can't even believe it. And
it's been 14 for me doing this.
I know, right? So
have you got to the point where you hate saying how many years you've been doing this?
No, I don't hate it because it's you're my friend. You're like family.
No, how about this? A situation happened today, and I called you because...
Well, I was really happy to hear from you because I hadn't heard from you, and I know you go dark sometimes, I'll
explain what happened to me, and briefly I did, but we'll explain to your listeners what happened. And when I say that many years, I don't want to have people lose hope that it will take this much time. I'd like them to think, and I think, and this is why the phone call, is that we're at an extraordinarily important place in time, right here and now. I mean, this Russian investigation, and this, what I should be saying, is the Ukrainian investigation, is about the corrupt and the deep state and drug cartels and human trafficking. This is their money. This is what I've detected so many years ago. And the good news is, by putting it on video and by putting it out there, no one's ever going to say that I didn't.
Well, before we get into that, really quick, I just, because we have a lot of new listeners tuning in, I just want to premise a little bit your case and how you came about starting the YouTube channel, State of Corruption.
Well, what happened was, I was the largest mortgage broker in the country. I also owned the largest racing stable, thoroughbred racing stable in the world. So what happened is that there was a Ponzi scheme. It was called FRM, Financial Resource Management. As it turns out, and it was most people that were elderly. And they were trying to invest their money and getting a return, whatever they had. And it turns out that I found out it to be a Ponzi scheme. What I found out, it was owned by attorney Bill Shaheen, who's married to Senator Jean Shaheen. And what I did was, by going to the banking department and reporting it, and finding out that the banking commissioner's two brothers were on the Ponzi scheme. And then what I did is I went to the FBI. I went and I kept finding roadblock after roadblock until what is called now the deep state, I called it, and if you remember, the network of corruption. What I found was the deep state. And I found how it was protected by controlling our courts. And they control family courts, everything to extort you, including the IRS, which is a subject I'm going to release shortly, a video. But my point being is, every step of the way, I found that this corruption was all organized. And it was not singular, but it was total. And then I came to when I exhausted the people to give this evidence and information to, I turned to social media, something that I've never did, and turned around and took my money and millions and said, you know what? I boosted and posted these videos and let people know what was happening. And then I started State of Corruption. And what it was really a plan, part of a plan. A state of corruption in New Hampshire, but a state of corruption in every state, and make it a national organization. And what this was is I sat with people. I stopped selling mortgages. I sat with people, victims, on the hour, every day, every week, every month for years. And I collected their information to find out that it connected. And it was all the same. They were just different faces on the same crimes. And what I did by putting it out on Facebook, we exposed it to the people. What I want to tell people out there, and they've got to hear this. You know, this may cost me my life, and I've got a bad feeling, and which is why I called, and which is also why I went dark. You've got to know, everybody, that the cavalry isn't coming. There is no good side. Republican, Democrats, media has separated us by race, religion, politics. What we've got to do is we've got to turn for help amongst each others, which is why, even with you, Amelia, you've had so many issues with social media. What they do is they try to block us. They took down State of Corruption on Facebook. I would have had millions of followers. We had 300,000, and we were gaining quickly. And that's the form that they're protecting. It's that organization. It's uniting the people, telling the people the truth. You're not hearing the truth in media. Do you believe the truth is so left and so right? That the truth somewhere isn't? And here's the truth they're not telling you. They're controlled by the corrupt. These industries, such as pharmaceuticals, banks, insurance companies, they pay for protection. And that is this deep state. And that's these law firms to become politicians, which is why our politicians are becoming rich.
And I want to interject something that, you know, they pay for protection, but they also, the other side pays professional bullies and professional trolls on social media.
It is well organized. The largest industry in this country, and I am certain of this, is corruption. Corruption. See, it involves the FBI, who protects. And the FBI are in a dangerous position right now. The DEA, who works with drug cartels and protect them. The judges that are corrupt. If we believe a police officer wouldn't take a bribe, you don't think a judge would? What people have to understand is this is organized. This is national. What I found in New Hampshire was the porthole of money laundering for this country, including a distribution center for drugs in this country, which is why with my evidence under a video to DEA, we got an 80,000 capacity tractor trailer full of fentanyl from top to bottom. Enough to kill everybody in this world. That's what I'm saying. It is all connected, and I followed it. What my talent, and I don't have many talents, but I am insightful. And what made me successful in business is seeing the obstacles and trying to go around them. And it turns out it was my talent, and used the same way, to keep climbing the ladder and finding through victims and evidence and witnesses. You'd be surprised. You ask people, you say, I'm here to help. You're going to have lines outside your door, and that's what I have. And you see broken hearts, lost children. I mean, the corruption in court, the elderly losing their homes. It is all one. It is all one.
So, yeah, and that's what we've been saying this whole time.